Nice. I'm much quicker than the other day.
Oh, goodness, that is brilliant.
I would have been so lost.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think,
Paul, Charlie, Eben, it is great to see you and fantastic. Well done for the other night. It was a great screening. But when I spoke to a couple of the actors the other day, they struggled with this question. So I'm hoping, Charlie, Eben, this is for you, that your brain is working a little bit quicker. Can you describe, tell me who you're playing and describe your character in just 3 words?
3 words. Okay, so I'm Charlie. I'm playing Stephen, and in 3 words, I would say intelligent, um, pulled, and positive.
Nice. I'm much quicker than the other day. Fantastic. Eben,
yeah, so I'm playing Saul, and I would say passionate, loyal, and driven.
nice. Nice. Well, I think the commonality that both your characters have, we know that your characters go through quite a change whilst they're on screen throughout the series. And I've only watched episodes 1 and 2, but I have read my Bible. And so I know a bit of what might be to come. But I'm going to ask you about that in a moment. What's that been like for you? But first of all, Paul, lovely to see you again. Now, I know that you've been an actor yourself. So if you could tell me a little bit of what it's like actually working as a director, you've got that advantage of being able to direct your actors. And what's that process been like for you on Testament?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we did, which I certainly found beneficial, and I think at least some of the actors did. I won't speak for Charlie and Evan, but 4 weeks prior to filming, we did 4 weeks of rehearsals for the show. Like there were half days each day because we're shooting everything so out of order. I think on day one. We shot with Eben and Solomon. We shot a lot of episode 6 stuff. And so I wanted to at least be able to rehearse a chronological way, as for the big scenes at least, so everyone had that thread. And that for me, I don't know, that was a fantastic experience just to get to sit down with them, to kind of see how they work, what people needed, how they wanted to be directed, if they wanted to be left alone, if they wanted to have encouragement, or scolded. No, not really. That was an enriching experience for me, and I think it was quite helpful as well for everyone else in terms of the departments because we got to do some rough blocking, see how things were going to be laid out. But from an acting perspective, that was quite, yeah, quite fun and quite wonderful. It means a lot of work was done early on.
Well, that tells me a lot about your character as well. The fact that you were able to say, let go and not necessarily and give them a little bit of freedom and jump in when you need to. But I was actually going to ask about that because I think a lot of people don't realize that you don't film because I've produced and directed films. So I know you don't film in that kind of chronological linear fashion. You might film, your first episode, season, whatever at the beginning, but you might then jump to a later season or a later part of that episode and you're kind of moving all around. So is that what you did with the whole, did you record all of the seasons in one,
Yeah, I mean a lot of
all of
TV
the
shows.
episodes, sorry, in one
Yeah,
of one
I mean, a
season?
lot of TV shows will still do episode by episode, but because we're such an independent project, and I think the scope for doing that would mean revisiting locations, every few weeks. So we shot essentially, what is it, 400 pages of the scripts, like a feature film. We did it all at the same time. So some days, I think Eben was doing episodes 2 and 5 and 8 on the same day. Charlie was doing, I think, on your first day. Oh no, your first day, actually, your first day, you had episode 1, scene 1. That was a first. On Charlie's first day, he got to do 1 1 1 1 1 1 1.
Nice. So, Charlie, Evan, what was that like then? Because what was your characterization process? Because you've got this change from when you start in episode 1 to the final episode, I'm sure there's a bit of transformation and development of your character, but you're having to film it and record it out of sequence. So, can you tell us a little bit about that characterization process and how on earth did you maintain where you were at with your emotional and mental state of your character jumping around like that?
I mean, yeah, this is just all down to Paul's genius of having rehearsals. It was perfect. Like I would have been so lost without that process, because it was confusing just to rehearse it, and you realize how long it is, and then you're saying the alphabet backwards, and you've really got to lock in and make sure that your notes are good, and your acting work is spot on, so that when it gets to Thursday and you're doing episode 1, but then on Friday you're going backwards in your brain, you have to have an emotional score of your character's arc in the season that you need to hold on to, know what your character has learnt at certain stages. I'm sure Eben is going to be feeling the same, but it's knowing what they want to become. Are they there yet? We know where it's going to end. So for me, working backwards was really, really helpful. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I think for me, a director once said to me about just the process and character is to hold on tightly and let go lightly. And I think that really kind of was what I led with, because that you come in with a very strong idea of a character and what your choices are and what you might want to bring into a space. But then depending on what the other actors are doing and what the director might feel on that day, depending on what's happened the day before or so on and so forth, and having those conversations on the day can change things subtly. And so I think that's where it was for me, is to come in with bold choices, but also be malleable and open to what might come up on the day and what you might be feeling, and the inspiration that might come as well, because you don't want to plan things too much either. You want to be in the moment and kind of feeling and responding to what's going on around you, depending on what other characters are giving you, and also what Charlie said about the arc. Just kind of, there's scenes that you want to give a lot. There's scenes where you feel, oh, this might be the moment I do that, and then you actually come in and go, actually, because of what I did then and because of where I'm going, actually I need to like tone that down a little bit or dial that up a little bit. So it was just about really kind of trusting in the director and in your fellow actors to just kind of be led, but also to be able to lead and follow through of what you planned and are doing.
Then Paul, did you have to keep cut? Did you do lots of takes, or are they really on point?
No, I do like my takes. I think probably, I don't know, Charlie, Eben, what averaging, we probably did 3 takes per like kind of on average, sometimes more. Eben, I think that's such a great word from whoever said that to you, the tightly and lightly thing, because I think it's the same directing. You have a strong vision for what you're going to do, and there are some moments that actually the actor kind of takes it a different way, and you're like, oh goodness, that is brilliant. There's a fantastic sequence with later on in the series where Eben really gets to, be fiery and very passionate. And I think we did quite a few alts. We did, one where it was, full rage, one where it was controlled, and what's wonderful about that is then you get in the edit, which is the third writing process. You got to kind of pick and choose. So yeah, we there's some moments where we played a lot more, and there's some that actually I think everyone knew this moment is exactly like that. We were all aligned. This is how it has to be. So just varied.
So then, Eben, seeing as you've gone from the fiery moments to the very kind of controlled, whether that's whatever that emotion might be, but which aspects of Saul, of the character you've been playing, do you relate to most yourself? Which aspects of you are we going to see in your character?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think there's something about his one-mindedness and really holding on to what he believes and is true, and kind of just following through with that, and really kind of leading with that. And I think in the world, the more you can own what you know and what you believe to be true, I think the greater your impact can be on others, because people can relate to you. They can see your confidence. They can see what you stand for and what you believe in. And I think for Saul's character, depending on what the audience feel, or what the kind of judgments are from that side, for me as an actor, for him as a person and a character, he believes he's justified and he's walking the righteous path. And so actually, I think that's something I've related to is just being steadfast and kind of following through with what you step into this world with.
Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing how you develop your character. And Charlie,
The only thing I can relate to with that would be me being an actor. I've only ever wanted to be an actor since I was about 3 years old, and I couldn't tell you why. But when I'm there and I'm doing it, it is the feeling you get from it. It's what I live for. It's what I love doing, and I battle with it. I can totally see Stephen's feeling with these thoughts and these new feelings. So it's brilliant to talk to other people about theirs and have a shared experience. And through the show and through the character of Stephen, I've been able to talk to so many people that I would never have done, and have conversations that I would never have happened had I not had this opportunity. So yeah, he's a learner, and he's overcome so many different things, and he lives his life differently through the season. So you see him grow up really, really quickly.
Fantastic. I'm so excited to see how people are going to embrace and interact with this series. I think a lot of people are going to relate to the different characters, and it's been such a joy to speak to you. I know we only have had a short time, but I do say all the best for what's to come, and I look forward to watching this journey with you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks,
God
Sarah.
bless.
Thank you so much, Sarah.